singularly make my tinnitus worse.
And you've destroyed my tolerance for horrible songwriting. Unfortunately, I think that's been the case with the record industry. Well, ain't that the truth? Go record something kick-ass with it. Good morning, everybody. It should be Friday, December 1st by the time this episode goes live. I just want to welcome so many people who joined the channel, who hit the subscribe button. Welcome to everybody. Thanks so much for joining up. Thanks for deciding to follow. It's going to be a very interesting, albeit maybe bumpy ride at times. Be careful. You may be challenged with opinions that differ from your own. Hopefully we can learn from one another along the way. This is the thing. I'm suspecting you guys are the hip crowd. You guys are the cool people who aren't just gonna scream, "No, my opinion matters! Fucking hate you! I hate you!" Although I do get some of those emails every now and then. For the most part, you guys are pretty damn cool. So, hey, thanks for coming on board. However, 56% of you motherfuckers who watch the show haven't actually hit the subscribe button yet. It's like, come on, that's insane. Considering the amount of views this channel gets, if you guys would just hit the subscribe button, I could literally get my gold play button on the inside of a month. So if you could do that, that would be a gigantic help, and I'd very much appreciate it. Once again, doesn't cost you anything to hit the subscribe button, and it would definitely go a long way into helping me make better videos for you guys, and therefore making more entertaining stuff. All right, anyway, enough of the bullshit. Let's get to your comments and questions.
I think the difference in feel and acoustic sound is way bigger than any recorded difference in electric sound, and that makes everyone hate your guts for calling them wrong. LOL.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about the acoustic properties of an electric guitar. It's like they vanish as soon as you record them. The insane thing is, anybody can make this test. All they have to do is record their amp with it in another room and then play them back. All will be revealed. But then again, doing a test like that would take the minimum amount of effort, and for most guitar players, well, that's just way too much.
Capitalism. Everyone has this subtle nagging to make money and therefore want what's proven. Too risky to try something new. You're not rewarded for pushing boundaries because it's not easily and widely consumable.
Madhouse, dude, I think you really hit it there. Unfortunately, I think that's been the case with the record industry for the last 30 years or something like that. You know, we had all the hairspray bands in the 80s, and then when Nirvana came along, the industry signed a whole bunch of Nirvana clones, and we got all the amazing bands out there like Creed. And it's just, gone on and on and on. Early 2000s, we had all those pop punk bands. It's just like, yeah, everybody wants what's simple and what works and doesn't want to actually explore doing anything new. And that level of thinking has given us such amazing pieces of entertainment like the Marvels. Now, myself, I think it's a great time to be a guitar player. It's a great time to be a musician. We've got all this amazing technology available to us. Maybe it's time to break some fucking rules and maybe try turning the metronome off for a change. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you willing to step beyond the boundaries and push beyond your limits and try something new? What do you say? I want to hear from you. Leave a comment.
Holy crap, I heard every kind of bass sound possible from this plugin. Even Glenn's noodling sounded amazing, and he has stated he is not a bass player. This plugin is amazing for all genres. Can't wait to hear an actual bass player demo this.
I can't for that matter either. Apparently our friend Eric Arco is going to be doing a video on element bass. Oh yeah, that was the thing we released last week. The one you guys have been hearing on the show for like the last freaking year. Been asking, what's up with that bass? What's up with that bass? It's finally out. It's called Element Bass, and it's available right now at Spectre Digital.
Just got the plugin, and I absolutely adore it. Thanks, Glenn.
You're very welcome, Sean. Go record something kick-ass with it. It sounds great. No more excuses.
I saw that you have isolated the bottom clank and distortion into main parts of this processor, and I bought it instantly. You may have revolutionized metal bass processing. This is going to be very useful when I record the bass and mix spectral darkwave.
Cool. Can't wait to hear it. Go knock our socks off.
Picked this up and loving it so far. I had a song I was working on and was happy enough with the bass tone. Decided to duplicate the track and disable the 7 plugins I had used to get the original tone and drop this in so I could A-B it. It's immediately better, and this wasn't even a metal song. This just works as well for clean tones.
Now that was the idea behind Element Bass. It's not just a metal bass plugin, it's for all bass genres. We got our friend Anthony Crawford. Hopefully he's going to do a demo for some jazz stuff for us. Should be really cool. We've got a bunch of other players who are going to be sending some stuff in. I'm going to confess, okay, when I put that video out last Friday, we had literally finished it at 6 that morning. My video came out at 8:30. So we haven't had a chance to get it in the hands of many other YouTubers. All we've got is basically that one video and a bunch of your comments for those of you guys who were awesome enough to go buy a copy. Now, let me make this perfectly clear to everybody who might be watching. If you've got a bug report, believe me, we're paying attention and they are being worked on and they will be squashed. We don't want to leave anybody behind with this. We definitely want this to be the best bass amp sim plugin out there, and we're going to do what it takes to make sure that happens. I know a few of you guys are still got a couple little issues, and yes, they are getting fixed. So just please bear with us for a few more days and we'll get it taken care of. Once again, for this weekend, we've got a special sale going on with Element Bass. That's our incredible bass plugin that sounds like this. Going for only $99 till end of day Sunday. Figure out what the hell, it's the weekend. Let's have a weekend sale, for anybody who might not have got it, who might be interested. Yes, it's awesome. Yes, it's diverse. And yes, it sounds incredible. Like this. Now, I'm sure a bunch of you guys are going, okay, that's great, Glenn, but what about ELE 2.0? A lot of you guys bought ELE 1.0. We've been promising ELE 2.0 forever. Well, guess what? It's finally ready. It's available right now. And if you bought ELE 1.0, it is a free upgrade. Now, for those of you guys who might not have got Extinction level event yet, we've got a special deal going on this weekend as well. You can get ELE 2.0 and Singularity for the combined price of $150. Singularity is our bass instrument plugin, so you get a virtual drummer, you get a virtual bass guitar. It's our virtual rhythm section. It's going on sale this weekend, once again, for $150. So what's ELE 2.0 all about? Run the clip. Hey guys, real quick, you demanded it, so we delivered. It's finally here, Extinction level event 2.0. You guys asked for more toms? You got them. You guys wanted more cymbals? We added those too. Now, if you're struggling to program MIDI, we've also added an entire library of drum grooves to get you moving instead of endless trial and error. And what's more, it's mix ready right out of the box. That means if you're a beginner, you'll get the sound you want without getting bogged down. But if you're an advanced user, tweaking this library has never been more simple. We've overhauled the entire mixer. Each channel now has its own dedicated signal processing, allowing you to create a custom drum sound that you've been dreaming about, all within the plugin. We put everything we could into Extinction level event so you can get everything you want out of your music. And what's more, version 2 is an absolutely free upgrade for everybody who bought the original. What are you waiting for? Get it today at spectredigital.com.
You don't understand tone. A Gibson sounds good right out of the box. Buy a Gibson and understand tone. Gibson will give the tone everyone wants. You don't have the money, so you can't afford a Gibson.
Okay, good for you. You're obviously a Gibson fan. That's very, very nice. Congratulations on buying such a very fine instrument. I'm really hoping nobody ever lets you anywhere near firearm. Fuck's sakes. Truth be told, I did buy a Gibson and I was horrendously underwhelmed by the terrible fucking paint job on it, so I wouldn't wish that guitar on anybody. But hey, your mileage may vary. If you're happy with your purchase, keep telling yourself that.
From an electrical engineer's point of view, different pickups will have different frequency response because of the changes in resistance, capacitance, and inductance due to the wire number of windings magnet. That being said, as soon as you put that into a tube amp, we leave our nice little linear and ideal bubble. The amp will distort and compress the signal, which will sort of flatten out the frequency response changes that we see between pickups. That's why changes further down the signal path alter a lot of distortion and compression, like your amp's EQ, speaker, and microphone will have a larger effect. The filtering they impose on the signal aren't compressed and distorted like the pickups.
Well, Keegan, thank you for verifying my findings. I really do appreciate that. That's why when you listen to a guitar signal right off the pickups, it sounds one way and you get all these variances from guitar to guitar to guitar. But when you start putting them into an amp, it sounds much more like the amp. And then when you plug that amp into a speaker, guess what? Sounds more like the speaker. And that's why you can take amps like, say, a rectifier and a 5150, put them through the same mic and speaker, and they're all going to sound pretty damn similar to one another. Yes, I know that's fucking blasphemy out there to a lot of the Facebook metal guys, but it's the fucking truth, and I've got a video coming up on that in the next couple weeks. Stay tuned for that. If you invested a lot of money into your tube bids, well, boy, you're really not going to want to miss this one. Either that or you're probably just going to want to flay me alive. Either way, it sounds like a lot of fun to me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that episode.
Hi Glenn, your videos are amazing and reliable. I want to request if you do a blind AB comparison between a real tube amp and amp sim of that amp or modeled version of it on modelers like Axe or Quad Cortex. These days, most reviewers don't make accurate comparisons, but I've seen you give the realist advice, so it'd be awesome for guitarists who are looking for a good rig without wasting money.
You know what? That's a fantastic idea. I should probably do that. Now, here's the thing. If you want to see kind of an earlier version of that wasn't a blind test. I did a video very early on in the channel. Actually, it was the video I did when I decided to get serious about YouTube, and it's called Axe Effects versus the Real Deal. As to your original question, yes, I'll be more than happy to do another video when we look into that a little bit more deeply, because I think that's a question that needs to be asked. I mean, like, the first video I did was about 9 years ago, and yeah, the technology has moved so much further down the road in the last 9 years. It probably does need to be taken a look at, and a blind test would be a great idea, and would definitely go a long way to possibly shutting up the golden-eared tube snob crowd. Oh, who am I kidding? They're never going to shut up.
I played with a sub $300 Perspex body back in the day. What about tone, dude? Was a constant question from other musicians, but never from a recording engineer. Pickups, pedals, amp, and CAD gave me the tone. I buy an expensive guitar for the looks, playability, and build quality, not tone. These all sound great to me.
Now, here's the truth, especially today with all the CNC manufacturing we have. You don't need to spend an awful lot of money on an expensive guitar to get a good sound, because it's generally the sound of the amp and the speaker that's generating the tone and not the guitar. Speaking of inexpensive, awesome guitars, I've got a Solar S-Type sitting in the other room in the box waiting to be unboxed. I'm going to start shooting that tomorrow. Once again, if you guys want to get the real scoop on what's going on with the Solar S-Type, are they good? Are they bad? Are they worth laying your hard-earned money down for? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys will know when that video drops and you can get the real story.
I put goldbacks and greenbacks together in my 70s custom Hustler cab, and Facebook morons crucified me. One guitar group kicked me out for blasphemy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Facebook groups really don't like it when you start thinking for yourself. I've never tried slashing goldbacks. That might be something worth looking into. Thanks for the suggestion, dude.
If you want to get banned from guitar forums, go there and do what Glenn does here. Banned from every single one of them, but never regretted seeing the pathetic reactions of the cork sniffer holier-than-thou forumites who think that every expensive purchase somehow also elevates their status as players. Needless to say, I am enjoying his videos way too much, lol.
Yeah, but if you spend more money on your guitar, it immediately makes you awesome.
I'm surprised that Glenn hasn't been jumped in public for talking about how software is good and how tone wood means nothing. Personally, I don't use software because I enjoy amps, but the ones I have are all less than $120 used, and I still get the sound I want with a few workarounds. If gear snobs would leave the house once in a while and interact with others who aren't the delivery drivers for Amazon or Sweetwater, they might realize that no one can tell the difference or even cares in the first place. There are a lot more listeners who listen at low bit rates with no care for how high quality or how amazing your tone is. They just want it to be palatable. Thanks, Glenn.
Gear is awesome. I love gear. It's really great. But truth be told, the best investment you can probably make in yourself is buying a songwriting course.
Thanks for what you do here, Glenn. Because of your channel, you inspired me to place more importance on speaker cabs and other aspects in the signal chain that I was underappreciating. It's really helped me elevate my recording quality and zone in on the aspects of the chain I want to change and get a desired sound. I still buy and swap pickups because they affect the feel for me in the room, and if I feel good about my playing at a psychological level, then I'll play better.
At least that's the hope. Whether or not that's reality, that's a different thing.
Whatever helps. Well, aside from practicing, because everyone knows that practice and fundamentals are for the talentless.
Well, ain't that the truth? Now, coming from this talentless guitar player, I could probably stand to practice for a couple more hours after I finish shooting this video. And the reason I can spend 2 hours practicing is because my editor, Ziz Gorlin. Ziz, you, sir, are the fucking man. Thank you so much for all you do here.
Been using V30 since about 1989. No one ever accused me of having modern metal tone.
Well, that's because they'd have to come to your shows for that to happen.
What about the point-to-point soldering in amps? BS. Not sure if you have the same amp PCB and point-to-point, so I'm not sure how you can test that. But when I visited my Marshall amp, they actually did that internally and actually produced one point-to-point module on PCB just to prove a point. No one can tell the difference in a blind test.
Okay, I am absolutely not qualified to answer that question in the slightest. I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm not a solder jockey. I'm like, the most I do is, solder up some hand-wired cables in here. Now, the only experience I have with point-to-point is I have a 1966 Trainer YB1A head. It's a 40-watt tube head. It is the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life, and it is wired point-to-point. However, that amp is also the thing I play the least in here. So, is it better? Fucked if I know. The insane thing is those amps are going for thousands these days on the used market, and back in the 90s you could pick them up for like $50 because nobody wanted them.
I love that no matter how you structure a test, being as meticulous as possible, there's always a slew of people who will always move the goalposts and say, yeah, but you didn't do this, so your test is invalid. No matter what the test, these types of people always just say it's invalid because they don't want to listen.
Can't pour more water into a glass that's already full.
I think it should be mentioned that if one decides to question Glenn's testing, then they should do the same for YouTubers who in the first place promote these myths while Glenn has no profit in telling the truth.
Dude, great observation. I'll tell you this, man. I've gotten a lot of offers over the last few years from pickup companies wanting me to do videos for them, and I always hit them with the same question. Where are your frequency response graphs detailing how your pickups are better than your competitors? Funny enough, I always get silence when it comes to that. And I think that's a question you guys as viewers should be asking other people who make claims about pickups. Where are the frequency response graphs? Where are the details? Where are the A/B comparisons? Are you using the same strings? Why are you testing pickups on different guitars? That kind of thing. Or did you go to great lengths to make sure the pickup's the only variable? Because doing these tests is hard as fuck. It's so easy to skew your results by moving one little thing. Move the amp knob like one little bit, and you screwed your test results. You got to start all over again. It's a real bitch to do these things, and I've seen that so many times with tube rolling videos where they'll play the guitar differently for each type of tube. Oh, look, it sounds different. It's like, yeah, you played the fucking guitar differently. Use a fucking reamp box. Make sure the tube's the only variable, not just one of the variables. So please ask away about my testing methodology, but please do it to other channels as well.
A friend of mine once said, no other guitar sounds like a Les Paul. I said, what? Are you high? Any guitar with a humbucker sounds like a Les Paul. But then again, he believes in Tone Woods, Magic Wire, and Mojo.
Now, the ironic thing about all that is one of my favorite speaker brands is Mojo Tone. They sell a lot of pickups too. Notice I don't do any demos for Mojo Tone's pickups. Their speakers are fucking magnificent though, so I gotta give them where credit's due. And I literally just had a pair of boxes of Mojo Tone speakers show up today. Once again, if you want to hear what those are all about, make sure you hit the subscribe button. They sent me a pair of their Watchtowers, and they sent me a set of their Neo magnet speakers as well. Super lightweight. Do they sound any good? I don't know. We're gonna find out though. Once again, hit the fucking subscribe button. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And once again, thanks so much to my editor, Ziz Gorlin. Dude, you fucking rule. Everybody say thanks, Ziz, in the comments, because he really does work his ass off on this stuff. And I think he does an absolutely magnificent job. And I'm so very lucky to have him on board the show. All right, so once again, we've got that awesome weekend sale going on at Spectre Digital. We've got Element Bass for only 99 bucks. If you're trying to figure out how to get an awesome bass tone on your mixes, this thing does it, guys. It really does. Once again, we've got Extinction Level Event 2.0, as well as the Singularity Virtual Bass. That's the MIDI instrument. Those are going for a pair for only 150 bucks. Once again, on sale this weekend. Links for everything are in the description below. You can check that out all over at spectredigital.com. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for subscribing. And thanks for all you guys who did hit the subscribe button. Believe me, I am truly grateful for each and every one of you for choosing to follow the channel. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And as always, be excellent to one another. And you have singularly... What the fuck day is Friday? Oh, okay. Hopefully we can... Let's know what time. I gotta change that. It's just fuck. Sorry about that. Really knocking this one out of the park, aren't I? Fuck.